What's up, Devastator Squad? So a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh format called Genesys just got announced the other day, and of course your boy Seto Kaiba is already trying to break Blue Eyes White Dragon. Alright, Devastators, so let's go ahead and take a look at my first blueprint iteration of a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck that you can play in the new Yu-Gi-Oh Genesys format. Really excited to showcase this. I think this format is a really great idea. I can vibe really hard on just the creativity of the format, having every card legal in the game, basically. That's not a link or a pendulum. I think is really cool. Blue Eyes is a deck that immediately came to my mind as something I wanted to try, and like, obviously because, you know, I'm Seto Kaiba, but the other part too is just, I think Blue Eyes has a lot of great cards over the years, and also dragons themselves have a lot of really good cards over the years. So these kind of can go really hand in hand, and you can just get really creative with this stuff. That's probably gonna be a little bit longer video because I'm gonna go into some great detail of why I chose a certain card. So definitely make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and let me know in the comment section below if you want to see more stuff about Genesys format. But let's get into it. But this is the first kind of blueprint iteration that I've come up with, just to kind of get to start playing this format really well. This deck can do quite a lot of explosive stuff. Like, you could easily end on 2 Blue Eye Spirit Dragons and a rank 8 Exceed monster, or even 2 rank 8 Exceed monsters in the right hand. Very easy to go for game. Obviously really crazy fusion shenanigans and just a lot of board clearing and just a lot of monsters just cycling each other. There's a lot of good bridging going on. Okay, so first off, triple Kaiba the Legend. I truly think this is the best card in the deck. In like this type of a style of playing Blue Eyes. Why do I think that? Well, because, you know, obviously you can kind of see right here, like, you know, where the Primate cards, you know. I decided to not put them in the deck because, I mean, I put them over here as just kind of like honorable mentions, but Lordly Load on the points list is a 33, so your consistency is going to be really low of being able to play other stuff. You're going to have to like max out on more Primate stuff, and it's just that I don't think that's really feasible. Another reason is the Primates were so crazy with Blue Eyes is because of this guy. Normal summon it, get access to all your Primate cards, and then link this away and get the field spell, then you get a second normal summon for the Blue Eyes cards, right? Not the case. There's no link 1. So I think wasting your normal summon on this guy is really not worth it. You could probably make a really cool normal Primate like Blue Eyes deck in a different way, and I'll try and figure something out with that as well. There's a lot of versions of Blue Eyes I think we can mess around with, but I just really don't think in this version where we're going to be always so like synchro eccentric and very like aggressive, these cards just don't make sense. But Kaiba Man I think is like the best starter. When this card is normal special summon, lets you special summon a Blue Eyes from anywhere, which is insanity. So it's an instant level 9 synchro for you. The other thing too is when a Blue Eyes is summoned while he's in the grave, he can banish himself to search for a Blue Eyes monster. So this is gonna bridge you into your alternatives. Could also bridge you into Jet, or if you already have alternative in your hand, it bridges you into a Blue Eyes to your hand, so you can special summon the alternative to keep on cruising. So this card is just really insanity. 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. This card you can start with, but I think this card is not going to be as good as a starter in this like it was in the original, you know, the TCG version of Primate Blue Eyes. We're also not going to be like summoning this as a second summon to search out a Veiler or whatever. This card I think is going to be better used for its hand effect. To target a monster you control, discard it, and then send that monster to the grave and special summon a Blue Eyes from your deck. This is a very good thing you can do with the Maiden, because the Maiden, when she's targeted by battle or card effect, can summon a level 1 Light Tuner or Blue Eyes White Dragon from the grave. So you'll get a monster out of the deck, you'll get a Blue Eyes out of the deck in this interaction, plus you get a card off of Maiden. So this is really good. Obviously, when you trigger that with Kaiba Man in the graveyard, you then get to bridge into all of this stuff as well. So like, you can do so much just by using this. Obviously, like, you couldn't start with this if your hand was really weak, but like, you really want to start with the Kaiba Man plays. Maiden of White, you can discard her if you have her in the hand to start your stuff. You could also just have her summon herself off the board and tribute herself to place the True Light. There's a lot of flexibility with her in this version. Now I am also playing 1 copy of Protector with Eyes of Blue. I think this card is the absolute best card to start with, and I might elect to play multiple copies of this. This card is searchable, so that is kind of like the thing. Is, I don't know, maybe I should probably play more of this card though, but when this card's normal summon, you can special summon a level 1 Light Tuner from your hand. So it immediately normal summon this, to special summon Kaiba Man, and you're just cooking, dude. That's immediately 3 monsters. Plus this card has an on-field effect as well, which can trigger with the Maiden to special summon more Blue Eyes White Dragons if you need to, blah blah. It's a cool card. But it is really strong, and it might be worth playing multiple copies of this, have more consistency of just hard drawing it, so you can start those plays with the Kaiba Mans more effectively. I don't know, I'll think about that, but we'll see. I am electing to play a Neo Kaiser Seahorse. You don't really want to, you know, normal summon this card, but this does allow you to organically make the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, because this card is a tuner and it can alter the levels of some of your monsters like itself, to go ahead and decrease its levels by 1, so you can make the level 12 synchro with this and a maiden or a sage or whatever, or a Kaiba man, to make the Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate. So there's been some boards where I can end on Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate plus a Spirit plus a Hope Harbinger, and then on my opponent's turn tag out for another Blue Eyes Ultimate. So I have like negates out the wazoo, right? It's cracked. This card also, because it's so easy to get Blue Eyes, is on the field, and it also triggers with this card, because while this card is on the field, it is, or graveyard, it's also Blue Eyes White Dragon. So you can special summon this from your hand to keep on cruising, you know. A lot of utility here. Also, this is a missing link. If for some reason you don't have the Kaiba Man or don't have the Maiden, when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can then send one of those to the grave. So, I mean, this card facilitates quite a lot as a great extender. You don't want to start with this card, though, at all. This is definitely a card you just follow up with. Of course, you have to play 3 Blue Eyes, though, because Kaiba Man. And because of this, we're playing triple alternatives. We want to hard draw this card. Obviously, we can search it as well. It's another reason why there's 3, because we have Bingo Machine Go in the deck. 3 copies of Bingo Machine Go. This allows you to search literally almost every single card on the screen that mentions Blue Eyes, and it also allows you to just like search stuff like this. So you could just, as an extender, like if your plays are already like cracked and you have everything you need, then you just Bingo Machine Go, revealing 3 alternatives, and you get the alternative, and then the Kaiba Man can bridge into the Blue Eyes to then special summon the alternative. Or if your hand is already that good, you can then just summon it. You can just search the Jet, right, with Kaiba Man the Legend. So like all these cards are really good. Blue Eyes alternative just summons itself, and it destroys a monster your opponent controls if you're going second, so it allows you to clear some stuff off of a board. But it's also it's a level 8, and its name is Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is very relevant for some other cards in here. We'll get to that in a minute. Of course, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon has to be here. His card is cracked. It's very, very good. Very, very easy to get on the board and in rotation, and it's just, you can search it for free all the time. I'm choosing to play 1 Whitestone of the Legends because I am playing Dragon Shrine in here. We'll get to Dragon Shrine in a second, but Whitestone of Legend I think is a very worthwhile card to maybe try to get in here, because it does allow you to bridge into a Blue Eyes as well, which allows Kaiba Man and Blue Eyes Ultimate to be, or Blue Eyes Alternative to be even stronger. Still playing some Veilers. This card is on the points list, so these are 7 points apiece. So that's 14 points. I do have 100 exactly for the points on this one. It is exactly 100. I'm still electing to play the Veilers just because why not? A little bit of hand trap action is nice. And then DD Crow, I put in as a 3 of just to kind of like try out for now. Maybe 2 is more correct, but I think this card would be very relevant in this format. It's a very good hand trap. It's not once per turn. It can banish literally any card from the graveyard, monster, spell, or trap, and it's 0 points, and it's kind of nice, right? Kind of cool. Now we get into the spells and traps. So Wishes of Eyes of Blue is a 2 of. You could play 3 if you really just like cut down your points for more consistency. I just elected to have a little bit more like going second power, and then also have some really nice stuff in my extra deck. But this card is a 33. There's also Melody of the Awakening Dragon, which is also really good for Blue Eyes, but this is just a better version of the cards. I wouldn't bother to play Melody in my opinion. Unless you're going to play like Chaos Max. I do think this card, you should play at least 1. And if you have the points, go for 2. You want to see this card. Being a Machine Go, I already touched on. It literally searches everything. I am still electing to play Primate Drill Beams in the deck because we're always going to have Blue Eyes. Always. So the Drill Beam is relevant. It's great going first to set it, and it's great going second to clear some stuff off your opponent's board, or to have as an interruption when your opponent interacts with you, right? So even though we don't have the Primate cards to search out the Drill Beam, we have to hard draw it. I still think there's merit here. I really, truly think this card should still just be played because we have access to Blue Eyes literally all day long on either player's turn. Ultimate Fusion is absolutely a card we should play in this. Why? Well, of course, you can make Tyrant Dragon with it, which is great, and you can destroy a couple cards if you use multiple Blue Eyes White Dragons. In this deck, it's crazier because Blue Eyes Alternative is Blue Eyes White Dragon while on the field and graveyard, so this will trigger for this additional effect to destroy multiple cards. So if you make a Tyrant, that's 2 cards right there, but you can also, we're also able to make these guys, these Blue Eyes Ultimate monsters, man, to destroy a lot of cards. We'll get to those when we get to the extra deck, but searchable way to just board wipe people, man, and go for game for free. Like, this card is actually really nasty because of the alternatives. I'm electing to play True Roar, so we have a higher chance to just hard draw this card, to just keep playing and pushing and doing plays and stuff. And it's also good like for just ratios with the Bingo Machine Go. You know, you can kind of like get the math a little bit better. We have a 66% chance on either the Roar or the Wishes, if whichever one is more important for you based off your hand. So the Wishes, if you already have it, you can just search out the traps instead that are 1-ofs. Or you could also search out this card I'm electing to play, which is Vision with Eyes of Blue. This card is searchable via all these search spell cards. This card allows you to special summon monsters from your hand if you have Blue Eyes White Dragon, which, wow, if there was only ways to get Blue Eyes in your hand with this deck, you know, so easy. So you can just gas out all your dudes and just keep on cruising, right? Keep on going crazy. This card also has other effects. It allows you to special summon if you, you know, you can target a monster and it gets additional effects. If it's Blue Eyes, you can special summon a monster from your hand, and then you can bounce a different monster back. You special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your hand. You could use this effect as well, but like when you activate it, this is the effect is just you want to activate it and then get the effect to reveal Blue Eyes to special summon a monster. Just keep on cooking through, but you can use the other effect as well if you really need to. Dragon Shrine, I touched on a little bit earlier. This is another just a callback to like the classic Blue Eyes of 2016. This card lets you send a dragon from the deck to the grave. If it's a normal monster, you can send another dragon from your deck to the grave. So you immediately get a Blue Eyes out of the deck. Then you get to send this to then get to search another Blue Eyes, which will turn Vision on, turns Alternative on, and also just it's just really nice. It's just really nice. It just hard draw it turns on the drill beams. It's just really cool. Just kind of set things up and get things moving. Then we have one Return of the Dragon Lords. This card is on the list as a 10-pointer. This was my last addition to the deck. This card is just a monster reborn for a level 7 or 8 dragon, so it's kind of relevant. It also has a graveyard effect. When your opponent would destroy your dragons by battle or card effect, you can banish this to protect all of them, so it's kind of cool. Little additional effect right there. Not searchable though. That is one downside to this card. Same with the Dragon Shrine. You just have to hard draw these cards. But it could have some merit. You know, definitely was an absolutely insane card back in the original Blue Eyes days. And then of course, for the trap cards, we've got Majesty of the White Dragons. This card is so much easier to resolve in this for the blow up 3 because these are treated as Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field and grave, so you can reveal even the alternatives on the board and or graveyard to facilitate with the Blue Eyes is to destroy up to 3 cards your opponent controls. This is very relevant. And then of course True Light. Now for the extra deck, Tyrant Dragon of course has to be there. Neo has to be there. We want to get the targeting protection for the Wishes play. You can organically make this with Ultimate Fusion and Roar. It is a possibility. But if we're going to go into the Fusion, I really think this is probably... I mean, these are both like just game-winning cards. If you really want to Fusion into these, you could Fusion some of this with the Blue Eyes alternatives as well. Same with this. You can use the Blue Eyes alternatives for these because they're Blue Eyes White Dragons. So you can summon... You could summon these. If you use alternative for this guy, you get to destroy 3 cards on your opponent's field, which is pretty cool. Obviously, you can't attack the turn he uses the effect, but you can just go for a game with all your other cards. So it kind of just allows you to just like this with Ultimate Fusion, you could just like literally destroy 6 cards on your opponent's fields. It's like, whoa, kind of cool. Does this card need to be here? Probably not, but I just kind of like the idea that I can summon multiple versions of Blue Eyes Ultimate with the deck. It just feels good as a Kaiba, you know. Blue Eyes Spirit at 2, you could play as a 3, obviously. I think you probably should, but I did want to just try out a bunch of different Exceeds for the lineup. Azure I put in here just because this card's really good. Lets you special summon back Blue Eyes White Dragons to just go for more combo, more pushes, more killing, and just whatever, right? And also just the protection effect on your guys from destruction and targeting is pretty helpful. Hope Harbinger has to be here. It's just one of the best rank 8 Exceeds. It is on the points list as a 10-pointer, so definitely very relevant. It's a spell negate, which is great. Part of the end board. You can do Blue Eyes Spirit. You can do double Spirit plus Hope Harbinger. And if your hand is really cracked, you can do Spirit, Hope Harbinger, and this guy. You could also do sometimes double of these, double rank 8s. Like there's a lot of crazy stuff you can do with some of these. You know, if you guys want to see combo tutorials for this, let me know. I'm happy to just cook some videos up for you on this stuff. It's just, I've already messed around with it, and I promise you, these cards really work well together. Indigo Eyes is really good. You know, another card like this that we used to play back in the day was the Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, but this is just a better card. It's because it just negates everything. So I think this is a better card to go for game. Obviously, kind of it's like this. You have a lot of cards that just like go for game. We have the Photon package from back in the day, the Prime Photon, the Cypher, and the Photon Dragon. Just a lot of ways to win the game with your rank if you just have like some Blue Eyes, like a Blue Eyes and an alternative just to help you just like OTK. I'm not going to go over these effects. You can read these on your own if you want to. The only one I want to make mention is just really cheeky is this guy, because this card is a snatch steal. Lets you steal one of your opponent's monsters and its name becomes Galaxy Eyes Cypher. So it's kind of cool if you do steal an opponent's Exceed monster, you can just lay this guy on top of it, which is kind of neat. So you can just get a free another pop on the board. Plus, you also get to still keep this guy to go attack for 3,000. But Now then we have 2 targets for our spirits in the levels. You know, we have the Lightstorm and the Ancient Fairy, and then of course we have the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragons, which we can summon off of the spirit and also just organically summon with Neo Kaiser. So that's that for this preliminary deck list that I've thrown together, and I really think this deck has a lot of potential. I want to quickly go over just kind of some like honorary mention cards real quick that I put down at the bottom. Okay, so first up we got to talk about Pot of Greed. It was definitely in the first version of this, and I think it still can be in here. It's just like, obviously if you wanted to just draw cards versus consistency with wishes, that's kind of the big things. This is a 30-pointer as well. Graceful Charity would have to be really insane in here because it'll set up Kaiba Man, it'll set up Maiden, it'll set up all, you know, Blue Eyes plays, it sets up the stones. Like, this card would be really nasty in here for sure. But it's a 40-pointer. Card of Safe Return also would be this ridiculous in here because every time you True Light, you're just gonna Pot of Greed. Because you'll draw one on the Blue Eyes, you'll draw one on the Maiden, you could draw one with the Kaiba Man, you can draw one with, you know, so many cards in this deck. You can just draw cards off of the Card of Safe Return. I was kind of like playing around with this before, and I was able to draw like 8 cards on a turn and then just like 2 cards on my opponent's turn. It's just like, it's cool, but it's like you're not drawing into anything that's relevant. It's not like we're drawing into like Nibs and Ashes and Dominus and Purges and stuff like that, because we can't play all those cards. So this card in theory is really just disgusting, but in like practicality, it doesn't really make sense. Obviously I already touched on the Primite stuff. Primite Fusion is a card you could just organically play as well for additional like fusion shenanigans, but I'm lucky not to play it because we can just search Ultimate Fusion. Chaos Monsters you can definitely play. There's definitely I can see some merit of playing the Chaos cards. It can be a little more bricky though. This deck already can be obnoxious at times with the bricks, but it's not that bad actually. I think there's way less bricking in this than I actually thought of at first glance. But the Chaos Monsters are very relevant. I think they could have some stuff. Master Thighs of Blue is another level 1 light tuner that can be played. It lets you recycle level 1 light tuners from your graveyard when it's summoned, and also lets you special summon Blue Eyes from your graveyard. But I just really don't think the card is all that good. I'd rather just go for Protector over. White Sun of Ancient is definitely a relevant card you can play in this, especially with the Dragon Shrines. At the end phase of the turn, when these are sent there, you can special summon Blue Eyes monsters from your deck to the field. So you can summon stuff like Blue Eyes Jet, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dragon Spirit of White to banish spells or traps on the field. This card could also tribute itself to summon a Blue Eyes. This card is really strong though if you decide to play like a turbo variant. I think I have some like ideas for more like 50 to 60 card pile Blue Eyes Dragon kind of shenanigans where we're just playing trade-ins and card of consonances and super rejuves and dragons ravines and stuff to just kind of like really just crazy turbo through our deck and just have some insane like, you know, broken board potential, you know, because like Dragon's Ravine, this would also facilitate like the Blue Eye Spirit tagging out into Ancient Fairy Dragon, because you could pop the Ravine to search for another Ravine, or you could search for Mausoleum. You'd actually be able to play Mausoleum of the Emperor in there and get a second normal summon for all of your dudes. So I mean, there is a lot of merit in that as well. So that version might be, I think, a little bit better if we're trying to play the Primite cards. That probably would be a strong contender to potentially put together. Obviously, we'll have to rely a lot on spell effects to special summon your Blue Eyes stuff, because the barrel, I mean, you contribute itself to summon to put a Blue Eyes in the grave, but could be kind of cool though to just like go plus 20 in the end phase with super reju. All right, Devastators, that's going to do it for my first version of Blue Eyes White Dragon for the new Genesys format. Definitely make sure to like the video on the way out, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and let me know in the comment section below if you want to see more Genesys deck profiles. And we have a huge special shout out to all the members of our Patreon, especially our Dictators of Devastation, Y-Wing Guy, Larry Quinn, Savvy, Captain Trips, Puppy Pack, The Jazz, Kodarin, our Moontier Zephyros, our Monkeys of Devastation, Mad Pepsi and Galactic, and our Kings of Devastation, Cerberus, Condor, Miguel, and my mom. And another special shout out to all the channel members of the Kaiba Mans, especially our Tier 2 Ultra Rares, Larry D, Puppy Pack, and Main Phase 1. Mom, thank you so much for being one of my Kings of Devastation. I love you so much. Devastator Squad, you guys are the best. I can't wait to see you in the future videos and live streams to come. And until then, stay awesome.